Hello, Cinnamon Bun. So, it has been a while since I've done any writing. My days have been quite chaotic and just kind of all over the place, as I'm sure many people's are. I was ill with what is probably coronavirus, but I can't say for sure because it's impossible to get a test, for about 3 weeks. And I feel like a lot of people who haven't been ill have kind of like got like a head start on like adjusting to all of this. I feel like over that 3 weeks, I had to adjust to what it's like to be ill and self-isolating, or on lockdown. And now that I'm recovered, I am now having to adjust all over again to what it's like to not be ill and in in quarantine or lockdown or whatever you want to call it. So yeah, I've like made attempts at like planning out my week and my day, but to be honest, I've just been kind of all over the place. I've had like big surges of energy, and then that energy has just like completely disappeared. I've had these periods of like deep focus on particular projects, and have felt like much better and really good and engaged. And then I've had times where my emotions just like the wave hits me again, and I just feel sad or like shit, or just like I don't want to do anything at all. So what I've been trying to do for the past, I guess, like week is just go where my energy is trying to take me, which sounds kind of woo-woo, but all I really mean is like, now that I've kind of gotten a hold on all of this stuff, at least for work that I absolutely have to do. So in terms of running the Story Magic Academy, like all of my things I absolutely have to take care of are basically done. Or it's like relatively small on a week-to-week basis at the moment. So I have a lot of stuff that I want to get done, and then obviously there's like the mundane kind of domestic stuff that needs to get done, like taking care of myself and feeding myself and buying groceries and taking care of the house and stuff. But basically all of my work is like big projects that I want to get done. So like I redesigned my website, and I'm redesigning some of the way that I run my business and stuff. And I also want to be making videos, and I also want to be writing. So to be honest, I haven't been methodical at all. I have just been like waking up and seeing and being like, what does my body want to do today? And trying to just follow that. And so it has been really sporadic and weird, where I'm having these really long, lazy mornings, and then often getting like a second wind and finding myself working from like 7 p.m. to midnight and stuff. It's really weird. It's really weird for me because I, for the last like 5 years or something, have been a lot more of like a morning worker. But we're all kind of a bit out of sorts. So all of that is to say, I haven't done any writing in weeks. Pretty sure it's weeks at this point, because life is tricky, and I've just been more motivated on the other kind of projects that I've been working on, like decorating my living room. I finally got a TV and a TV cabinet, which means that I could finally like organize the furniture in here and stuff. And yeah, so there was a lot of that. I'm getting off on a tangent again. All of that is to say, I haven't been focusing on writing at all. I have barely gotten anything done. I did speak about my new novel on my Clubhouse live stream, which you can see on my channel, and I think it's probably that, and speaking about it so much, that has actually resulted in what has happened today, which is that I woke up. I did laze about in bed for a good amount of time this morning. I woke up late, I had breakfast in bed, I had some chai, and I watched some YouTube videos, but once that was done, I was like, what is this feeling? Like, what is this feeling that I'm having? It's like an urge to write something because I want to. What the fuck is that about? What is this alien experience that I'm having? So today, I actually feel like working on my book. So I'm going to do that. I'm trying to just do what I'm interested in and what makes me happy and kind of follow that flow instead of like forcing myself to work on things because I think I should be working on it. So we're gonna have a chill writing time today. I don't know that I'm necessarily going to be writing any new words, like the next scene, because I basically established that I wanted to work a bit more on getting to know my main character, and also I need to figure out like where she lives, like a rough sketch of like her house, because she's going back there in the next scene. So yeah, so there's a bunch of things that aren't exactly writing scenes that I think I will be working on today, and I'm just going to try and have fun with it. What concept? Enjoying the creative process. What a time to be alive. So I'm going to try and take it really easy and just follow the joy, if there is any to be had. I'm going to start by just giving my office, studio, writing, study room a quick tidy because everything is a mess. Yeah, and then we're going to do some stuff. Let's start by updating the index of this, make sure I've got everything. Wow, my last entry is the 27th of March and it is now the 17th of April. Hi, hello, we're at my desk. We are having a good time so far. I'm actually looking forward to getting into this. So I'm just creating my entry for the day in my novel journal, or my writing journal, which just means writing the date. And looking at the last thing I did, which is what I'm really loving about just kind of doing my novel journal as if it's like a normal bullet journal where I just have an entry every time I sit down to write, and I kind of track what I'm doing. Not in a lot of detail, but just like making notes of tasks that I'm working on that day and any notes. And the last thing that I was working on was my main character, basically creating a really super tight, concise character sheet for her. So I've already brainstormed her, what I call her psyche, so like how she acts and behaves. Again, that's something that I share in the Story Magic Academy if you're interested. But now I want to flesh out her character a bit more with some like textural details, quirks, just like turn her into a real human being, hopefully. And I really struggled with this when I first started doing it because it's been so long since I've done that. It's been so long since I've really dove into creating new characters. But if you want to know about the techniques that I'm using for this today, I have a video on it. It's actually a pretty old video now. I think it's maybe 2017, 2018. It's from Preptober. I will have it linked below, and it's about fleshing out characters, and it basically shares a couple of different techniques for getting to grips with a character and giving them like more putting more meat on the bones in terms of once you've got like, you know, their motive goal and their basic kind of psychology. So yeah, so I like to really use, I really like to use even techniques with randomized elements, which means I like to do things like drawing a card, like a Lenormand card, and thinking about if, like using that as a prompt to think about how I might develop an aspect of that idea into the character. Let's say I got the tower. So this is the tower in the Golden Thread Lenormand. It's not the tower in the tarot, so it has a slightly different meaning, but I would think about what the tower means to me, and I would think about how that relates to Astrid, my main character, and be like, does the tower show up for her? Is there any ways in which she has that same energy as the tower, or even could I draw on the idea of the tower for like where she lives, or something about her physical appearance and stuff like that. That's a technique that I really love to do, and I'm going to do that today. Thinking about making a triptych for her, which basically just means in terms of using like visual resources or visual inspiration or influences. So I know a lot of people make like mood boards or Pinterest boards for characters or for projects. I like to limit it to 3 images, which helps me really focus. So I want to find 3 images which to me feel like Astrid, and maybe give me an idea of what she looks like and what her vibe is. So that's what we're going to do. If you want a rundown of how to use these things, go and look at that old video. It will be linked in the description, and it's old enough that I still had a fringe back then, but those techniques are still really solid, so have fun. Okay, I've been at this for like a long time, like a few hours at least. Oh, I've come up with so many different kinds of magic and so many different kinds of witches, and I still just can't nail down what I'm going to choose in terms of a path for this protagonist. I've got like one element that I want to use, but I'm trying to find out what that's going to combine with, and I'm just, I've got so many good ideas for so many other characters, but I just can't nail down, yeah. I'm really hungry, so I'm going to do a little bit more of this, and then it's time for some food. Witches do love jars. Somewhere now. pretty different from me, actually, which is good because I don't want Astrid to just be me, even though obviously we're going to share a little bit of blood. Part of me is like, is this too feminine? I definitely have more kind of neutral types of witches and more masculine types of witches as well. It's just like very feminine focused specifically. Maybe that's okay. Oh hey, okay, so I got sucked into, so I think I've decided on this like a magical focus, I guess, for my main character. I've decided what kind of witch she is, which is going to have a big effect on the rest of the story. Now I've kind of gotten pulled off into some like world building thoughts, because there's still a lot about this world that I'm trying to figure out. I think like a lot of writers right now, I'm also trying to figure out how this world relates to our real world, especially since we are in the middle of a global crisis which is literally changing the world as we speak. So I have been trying to think about if I want to reference that in any way, if I want to be influenced by current events in any way, or if I want to keep this just like something like I would have written before all of this started, and kind of like more concerned with the way things were before, or more concerned with the way things are changing and the way the world is going to be in the future. Had a couple of ideas for that, but I'm still struggling to make it work with what I have. So I've actually texted my friend Heather, who is just quite knowledgeable and has like similar ideas when it comes to politics and systems and stuff. So I've just texted her to see if she is game for maybe bouncing some ideas back and forth around that. Maybe sometime in the next few days, but for now that was my microwave with my lunch, which is just leftovers. I made, I guess you could call it like a burrito bowl, but it's really simple. It's just like some like kind of spicy Mexican style rice with pinto beans in it, and I just made some like homemade salsa, and it's just like put some of the fresh salsa on top, and that's it. So I'm gonna have that, and I need to text back Jen about some stuff, and then we'll see. I don't know. I'm feeling pretty good about this stuff so far, so I might do some more today, I think. This is so good. Why don't I make this more often? Hi, hello. Feeling like really like high energy today, which is the first time in a long time. I honestly feel like this very rarely, and I don't know if it is, so like I said, I made that big batch of chai from the Dishoom cookbook. Normally, whenever I've gone to Dishoom, they have like bottomless chai, so every time that your cup goes down, they just fill it back up again, and I always drink too much, and then I'm just like an anxious mess of caffeine for the rest of the day. So I've been trying to be very careful not to over caffeinate myself with this chai, but I've had 2 cups today, and I'm feeling like really pumped, and I don't really know why. It might also be, I think I'm coming up for kind of like my energetic peak of my cycle. So there tends to be like a few days where I'm just like fucking ready to go, and then the rest of the month I'm just like, no. So yeah, I don't know if it's a combo of those things or what it is, but I'm feeling like I have like a lot of energy right now, and after a quick lunch break I kind of just want to get straight back into writing stuff, but I also know that I'm very liable to be like, oh, I'm happy to just go back into it. When I don't take enough breaks, I like burn myself out for the day more quickly than if I like stop and take breaks in between sessions. Then I can probably actually work for longer during the day, if that makes sense. So I think what I might do is go for a run, because I feel like this so infrequently that I feel like I should really capitalize on this physical energy that I have. And I think I'm going to go for a run. I've been using the app Zombies Run, which is a kind of like, what, I don't know how you'd even describe it. It's almost like a fiction podcast. It's like a zombie story. It's like a post-apocalyptic story. But you are the main character, and it works with your runs. Like it's like an exercise app, but also like a fiction story, which is just like, it's exactly what I need. I used to run like 10 years ago, like really consistently. But since then, whenever I've tried, I just get bored out of my mind by running. And this is like the only way that I've found recently that I'm like, wow, this makes me actually want to go out for a run because I want to find out what happens next in the story. Yeah, so it's really good. I'm really enjoying it, even though like physically I haven't really been up to much. Or haven't been able to push myself very far. It's been like very slow, short runs with like lots of walking breaks and stuff. Yeah, I think I'll see how I can do today, and do that, and then maybe we'll do some more writing. Let's get into exercise mode. I've got that like post-exercise just kind of like doziness. So I've just had a shower, and I have a little decaf coffee to have with my half a protein bar. I just sat down thinking, what am I going to do next? I don't know. And I was thinking that I was going to have to like decide that, and then as soon as I sat down and looked at the stuff that I had open, I was like, oh yeah, I know what I'm doing next. Now that I've narrowed down a kind of witch type or like magical focus for Astrid, I'm going to use that as a kind of springboard to look at some like inspiration images. So yeah, I'm just going to have a browse about on Pinterest and see if I can figure out a bit more about her, and what she looks like and maybe how she dresses and stuff like that. Yeah, so doing something like that on Pinterest obviously is like, it's pretty super chill. It's about like the lightest kind of writing work that you can do, so I think that works pretty well from where I'm at right now. Just still a bit tired from my run. It's now like 5 o'clock. Yeah, let's do that. It's still too hot. Don't do it. I've not tried that one before and I like it. Oh, I'm almost like sleepy now, but in a nice way. Like pleasantly buzzed kind of out my face kind of way. What kind of tunes should we have? We all know the real question that we're all asking is she an edgy goth bitch? Oh my god, I just got sucked into Pinterest for such a long time. I think I'm kind of getting there, but I also feel like I've taken a lot of detours. And now I've just found myself back on, or I've followed the rabbit hole down to the Lovely Omens tarot deck, which I wanted a long time ago before it was kickstarted. I decided not to get it because I wasn't very experienced at tarot, and most of the cards are like pips instead of figures, which is harder to read if you're not very experienced. But now I've done quite a lot of tarot for myself, and I'm basically just having a minor argument with myself if I want to buy this deck or not. If I want to just order it online, which is not what I was meant to be doing, but I have been at this for quite a long time now. It's now like 6:45. I think I'm gonna call it there. I think I've like maxed out my brain on this. Yeah. I've like gathered inspiration, but I've not really been able to like narrow it down. So yeah, I think I'll call it there. Why am I doing this to myself? I just feel like I'm so close to nailing it, and I need to have dinner, but I'm just like glued to this now. For God's sake, just googling Peter Pan collars to see if that is a vibe that I want. No, that's too the mean girls from Sabrina. I am torturing myself. You know what? I think I just need to keep it simple and go back to exactly what my first thought was. Okay, stop looking for the perfect picture and just fucking use these ones. There was something else. Stop, Rachel, stop. Come now. So I definitely worked for too long just there. This is squint. Yeah, I definitely worked for too long there, and just kind of kept banging my head against the wall of like, what is her vibe? I don't get it. Like, I don't get her yet. I think I've like cracked, like I've hit a point where I've got stuff now that's good, but I haven't actually like written any of it up into the character sheet that I wanted. But I definitely should have taken a break long before that, because now I am like frustrated and I continued working long after I stopped having fun. So now it's time for a proper break, and I will maybe do some more tonight if I feel like it.
All the things I have a feeling about it. I will eventually get sick of quarantine content. Is my Victoria Beckham PC bag.
And then took everything back on the strength of the as children and resignation as adolescents. Templar even have to give up. Faith begins precisely where thinking leaves off. Appropriate to think with. Children and Greg have, by their very nature, only a very particular set. Generation will have access in some form to the social historical moment of previous generations. You know, because of the way people interact with you, because of the fact that you have a team of people. Media informs memory, and memory relates a generation. It's worth asking if that media has to be of that generation only. I wonder if the availability of previous generations' media contributes.
So we are done for the day. Yeah, I worked for too long and I melted my brain a bit and I got really kind of cranky about it, but I'm fine now, and looking back I'm like, yeah, I got a lot done today on writing, even though I didn't get to like, you know, prettily writing up my character sheet in the way I wanted to. I've got things to put on there now, which is good. So I'm just gonna end it here, and I'm gonna wrap up this vlog the way I've been wrapping up many of my evenings in lockdown, which is with Black Rebel Motorcycle Club. Home to the mountain.